Hello and welcome everyone. It is time for episode number 2 of SwiftUI from scratch. After today, you'll be able to code your first simple application and learn about views, modifiers, and stacks. Before we jump into coding, let me mention our GitHub account real quick. Every project from this series will be posted on GitHub and will be free to clone, use, and modify for everyone. Also, at the end of every video, there will be a quick exercise for you to practice the current topic on, with solution on GitHub as well. The first and arguably the most important concept for us to understand are views. Every single UI component of your app is some kind of a view. You can look at a view as some kind of a layer. While developing an app in SwiftUI, all you do is try to compose your views either vertically, horizontally, or on top of each other to create your user interface. Let's try to understand the code that has been created for us by default after making a new project. We can see a structure called content view and a structure called content view underscore previews. Content view conforms to a protocol called view, which allows us to use the predefined functionality of this type. After that, we can see that the content view structure has a property called body. This property conforms to a protocol called SomeView, which is not quite the same as before. In this case, the body property expects an opaque return type, which very simply said means that it doesn't know in advance what type of a view will be the return type. The body property is also something called a computed property. This means that its value is computed in the runtime of the app. Finally, inside the body property, we have a view called text. This view requires a parameter in the brackets. The parameter for text view is a string written inside quotation marks. This view has a modifier which gives the view some padding. We will cover view modifiers later in this video. The second structure, called content view underscore previews, creates the preview of your app for our canvas. It conforms to a protocol called preview provider and has a computed property called previews, which also has an opaque return type in form of SomeView. Inside this property, there is a view initializer which calls the content view structure view for the preview. Sometimes we can say that the content view is being called inside the preview. This whole structure is only used in the development stage of your app. When you publish your finished application, this structure is no longer part of your code. SwiftUI has a lot of pre-made views for you to use in the project. The next one I'll show you is an image view, which displays any kind of image you want. First of all, go into your assets catalog and choose a picture you want to display from your Mac. And then just simply drag the picture onto the catalog and import your picture this way. Now we go back to the content view, delete this and simply type image, and the parameter is going to be the name of our picture in the catalog, which is logo for us. Now, if you hit resume on your preview, you should be able to see your picture being displayed. For displaying a list of all the available views inside SwiftUI, you can go ahead to the top right corner and hit this plus button right here, which will show the list of all the views that are available for you, also with the documentation and a tutorial how to use it. In this video, we're going to cover how to use a tappable button. So we just simply click and drag this onto your code. And we're going to delete this image right here. And this should display a tappable button. In the action section, you put a closure which says what is going to happen after the user taps the button. And in the content section, you specify how the button will actually look. So this expects some kind of a view. The only other view we know is an image and a text. So for now we will use a text which says tap me, and this should display the button as a text of saying tap me. For the action closure of our button, we're going to print out some text on the console. For this, we're going to call the print function and simply say that the button has been tapped. And after that, we have to run the simulator. So hit the play button. And on the right side of the screen, you should see the app up and running. If you tap the button, you can see that in the console we have our text. And each time I will tap the button, the action closure is being executed. That's how a tappable button works in action. The next thing we're going to cover are view modifiers. Each view can be modified. You can change its style by using the view modifiers, which are basically something called extensions of a type called view. For this, we will use our image from before. So let's place our logo right here. And the modifier starts with a dot. And the first we're going to take a look at is a resizable modifier, which can only be applied onto an image, which is saying to SwiftUI that we want to change the properties of our image. And then another example is setting the frame. So you can say, for example, the width is going to be 300 pixels and the height as well 300. And that's basically how view modifiers work in general. There are a lot of view modifiers for each type of view, so you will learn them as we go on in this tutorial series. So far we've only had one view at a time being called inside our content view. So let's say I want to add a text under this image. A logical thing to do would be to call the text view right here and say, for example, swiftly code it. But as you can see, another preview is being generated separately for each view I'm introducing in my body property. That's because we need to introduce a new concept called stacks. We use stacks to align the views inside of it accordingly. We have three types of views. The first one is called a V-stack, which aligns the items vertically, then an H-stack, which aligns them horizontally, and then the Z-stack, which aligns them on top of each other. Let's try using all of them. First of all, we're going to try a V-stack. Just simply write a V-stack and a curly braces, and just copy and paste these two views inside the V-stack. The app now works as intended. If you want to align horizontally, just simply use H instead of V right here, and you can see the elements are aligned horizontally. If you use Z now instead of H, the elements inside the stack are placed on top of each other. That's how stacks work. With this knowledge, you can now introduce your own custom view. For this, you need to make a new structure, which is going to be called logo for me, but you can change this to whatever you like. And we will do the same as we did with the content view. So we're going to introduce the body property as well. And this will be the body of our custom view. So I will now copy the Z stack and put it right here. And to change it up, actually, I'm going to put a V stack here. So the elements are going to be aligned vertically now. And also I'm going to use a modifier called foreground color right here and change the font to be the color of red, for example. So now we've created our own custom view, which is called logo. But what we need to do is actually call our new view inside the content view. So what you're going to do is type logo right here and use the braces because you are initializing the view now. If you hit try again now or resume, you should be able to see our custom view, which is being displayed inside of the content view. Inside of SwiftUI, you will be using this practice a lot. You will create a new custom view and call it inside another view. Not only that it makes the code way more organized, but the other advantage is that you can reuse your structure, your view, anywhere in the project right now. So let's say I want to call the logo view 2 times in the content view. So we will use a VStack right here, and I will call the logo view twice actually. You can now see that your logo is being reused twice in the content view. If you are interested in practicing the knowledge from today and wanting to create this layout for yourself, be sure to visit our GitHub account with all the images, instructions, and also with the solution. If not, then I will be wishing you to have a great rest of your day, and be sure to subscribe to C number 3 where we will be mastering our SwiftUI layout.